next one. Hello, good morning everyone. Good morning everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. The element of time. Time moves horizontally, swings between past and present. Past is no more, future is no more. In between, there is a precise moment that we go on missing every time. So now is the only time to live in and to be. And with now comes another phrase, here, now and here. Whatsoever happens, happens in this very moment. In now is a very precise moment. You are hearing this live streaming. Something may happen, but it will happen only in this very moment if you are available. If you are not available, you will miss it. You are eating food, the taste happens in a very precise moment. Bliss or Anand happens only now and here. Anand means bliss. It means now. Bliss is never then. It is always now. It is never there. It is never then. Bliss is always here and now. If you are available, only if you are available to the moment. Bliss knows only one space, the space that is created around the here, and knows only one time, that is created around now. So now and here are the two terms when whatsoever has to happen, happens. If you think in terms of then and there, you will remain miserable. Misery is the way. The people are miserable because they go on living somewhere else. They miss the precise moment of now, which is time, measured in as time, and here the space. The present is the only time to live in and to be. And here is the only space to be in. To start falling more and more into the present is the way. And when you start falling in the precise moment in now, this is meditation. Thoughts take you astray, they take you in the past, they take you in the future. And meditation techniques help you to drop thinking. And with thinking also drops the past and the future. Past which is no more, and future which is projection. The moment you drop thinking, you cannot go anywhere. To go anywhere, you have to ride the thoughts. Thoughts are the horses, the wild horses. The moment you let loose one horse, all of them run out of the place. So is the case with thought. Thoughts always move in a chain, and the chain is long enough. Think of a name, think of something, and hooked onto that, one after the other thoughts will come. And you will start moving into the wild with those thoughts, which are like horses. The moment you drop thinking, you cannot go anywhere. To go anywhere, you have to ride the thoughts. Thoughts are like horses. Thoughts are memory. Thoughts is imagination. Verily, the thoughts of horses take you astray on a ride to the past or to the future. Just sit down one day, early in the morning, and think of a name, think of a happening, anything. Choose a word. Let's say you choose the word wife or husband. See, hooked onto that, what comes to you. One after the other, the long chain, and you have gone into the wild. Time passes on. If you want to go in the past, in the woods of the past, you need a horse, and memory provides you the horse with the horses. If you want to go in the future, then again you will need another horse, a horse of imagination, horse of memory or horse of imagination. The horse that mind uses to enter the future is called imagination. The horse that mind uses to go into the future is imagination, but the horse that mind uses to go into the memory in the past is memory. Once you drop thinking, you cannot move even a fragment of an inch. There is nowhere to move. In that unmoving movement, then the direction changes of the movement. In that unmoving movement is the precise point called now. Now is eternity. Now is not part of the time, it is beyond time. When time comes to an end, time is no more measurable. You have entered the moment of now. Time is thought. Time consists of three things: the past, present, and future. In fact, it consists only two, the past and the future. Present is not a part of time. Instead, present is beyond or timelessness. When time comes to a cessation, that very moment, that very precise moment is now. When you have no possibility of any movement, space comes to a cessation, that is here. It never comes, it never goes, it is always here. Only we go on moving between the two extremes, the past and the future. But we cannot stop. The mind is a pendulum. We are like a pendulum. It goes from one extreme to the other. And then in the process of moving from one extreme to the other, it gains momentum. And once it gains momentum, it continues to move. It continues to move unrestricted. It continues to oscillate between the two extremes, the past and the future. And in the process, it never stops in the middle. And this is called the wheel of time. And it goes on missing now, here-ness. The wheel of time, too swiftly it moves, goes on mopping as it rolls. Goes on mopping as it rolls, no power can its fury ebb, or can change its passage. It has been going and shall go forever without a break. Then what is to be then? Then do the most of what ye may, cause frigid claws of death may soon descend and seal your humble fate. Cause frigid claws of death may soon descend and seal your humble fate. Then you shan't have time to mend. Then you shan't have time to mend. The world is fine a stage on which we come to act our parts. Then do the most of what ye may, cause frigid claws of death may soon descend and seal your humble fate. When you stop in the middle, when the pendulum comes to a stop, that precise moment is the moment of meditation. Indeed, meditation is Buddha's term of middle path. You are in the middle. Neither middle is not the mean, is not the average. Is that the pendulum has come to a cessation, it's not moving anymore. Meditation is rather going this, is neither going this way nor going that way, not going at all. When one is not going anywhere, not even going into meditation, not going at all, one is in meditation. In meditation or marakba, we use zikr, we use this. We continue to use the mechanism of the mind. And that zikr, or that word, or whatsoever you are doing, chanting a prayer or a zikr, that becomes an obstruction. An entire focus goes on that, and that does not give you the taste of meditation. You are not going anywhere. Meditation is neither going this way nor that way, not going at all. When you are not going anywhere, not even going into meditation, not going at all, one is in marakba or meditation. That stillness that happens during the moment of marakba or meditation is Ida. It is one of the most beautiful words. Utter silence is called Ida, I-D-A. that immenseness or that eternity is called, that happens at that moment is called Ida. Sometimes it happens unaware. After this live streaming is over, there are so many videos available on YouTube that is at one place. You listen to any of the video, and I suggest if you listen to it using the headphone with your eyes closed, you will find for few seconds, if not for a longer period of time, you disappear and you do not know what has happened to you, and you know very well that you was not asleep. That is the moment when you have entered eternity. And that is called Ida. Sometimes it happens unaware. Every time, even when I listen to the videos which have been streamed live, like this one, the same thing happens to me as well. It happens seeing a sunset, you are in it. Deep in love, sometimes it happens you are in it. Lovers tend to forget time in the moments of deep love. In the moments of deep love, lovers tend to forget time. They tend to enter into a different world of timelessness. And if you enter into that moment with total awareness, something will happen there. All is still and quiet. They tend to enter a different world where there is no movement. Time has become still. All is still and quiet. Not even a stir or even a wave is there. And sometimes in deep love, you are there in that space which is now and here. If you become aware of that moment, because everyone is in love, you have that opportunity available to you. In that very precise moment when you are in your male-female relation in deep love, you are there in that space when time has become still. You have entered the timeless space. That is the reason why love has so much appeal, because it gives you the moment, it gives you the taste of the moment now, and it gives you the small space here. That is the only natural way, and that is why beauty has appeal. When you are fascinated by the beauty as embodiment of a flower, or a woman, or a man, or a child, or a star, suddenly time stops and you plunge into the ocean of stillness. Suddenly it happens. When you are fascinated by the beauty as the embodiment, beauty can manifest in any form as the embodiment of a flower, or a woman, or a man, or a child, or a star. Suddenly time stops and you plunge into the ocean of stillness. You are so fascinated by it that thinking is no more. For a moment, I mention moment, for a moment you stop in the middle and the clock of time stops and you remain. For how long you do not know. It does happen sometimes to someone. Cherish those moments. Nourish those moments and create occasions for them to happen more and more. Allow them to happen more and more. And create occasions for them to happen. They cannot be brought directly, but we can certainly create the occasions while watching a flower. You are one with the flower, you are in the beauty, in the fragrance. Fragrance reaches your nostrils, beauty captures something through the eyes deep within you. And what are the religions? All the religions are nothing but occasions to create those moments. Islam creates those moments. Hinduism creates those moments. Buddhism creates those moments. But our emphasis is never on those moments. Our emphasis is on the outer dimension of the religion, which is Shara. What is written in Islamic jurisprudence, or the religion, or Hindus, or Christians, or Jews, or Buddhists. But you remember, all religions are nothing but simply the occasions to create those moments. For example, if it happens always early in the morning when sun is rising, the air is pure and sanctified, the world is still silent, the birds chirping, and that announces the arrival of the dawn, and the earth is awakening. If it happens in that moment, make it a point not to lose that moment. Early in the morning when the sun is rising, the air is pure and nascent. The world is still. The birds are chirping to announce the arrival of the dawn. The earth is awakening slowly and slowly. Earth is awakening. The flowers are going to open their petals. Birds on the wings give the message. If it happens in that moment, make a point that you do not lose that moment. Just watch and see when it happens naturally to you. Then those are the occasions. Those are the occasions which can be created. You cannot directly bring that moment, but indirectly you can persuade the moment to happen to you. Early in the morning when slowly and slowly sun is coming on the horizon, the moon is disappearing, the birds fly to give their messages chirping. The world is waking up from the deep slumber as the rays of the sun, as the rays of sun are touching something deep within everything, sentient or insentient. It touches something deep within the birds. They begin to fly out of ecstasy and sing and give the message through their chirping. The flowers, when they are touched with the rays of the sun, suddenly something tickles deep within, and they start opening their petals. The petals is not that the flower starts opening its petals. The rays of the sun tickles something in the womb, in the soul of the flower, that its petal begin to open. As the petal opens, the beauty manifests. the beauty manifests and it touches somewhere deep within. It is an indirect effect. Then those are the occasions which can be created. Certainly early in the morning when the sun is rising, there is calmness all around. Feel that calmness. Imbibe that deep within you. But what you want to do, you want to remain lying down in the bed. Allow the rays of sun slowly and slowly trickling into your being. These moments you cannot bring directly, but indirectly you can persuade the moment to happen. For example, when you sit in a closed room and incense is burning, the fragrance is filling the atmosphere, it is filling your nostril and it happens, then that is just an occasion. In the evening, with the dusk, you light a lamp, you light a candle, and slowly its light, the magnificent light, begins to fill the atmosphere. That is how religions discovered prayers and techniques for meditation. In that very moment, all prayers and meditations meditation techniques were all discovered in those moments. The words, the sound of chirping emerges out of the birds. The beauty manifests out of the flowers. Words emanate out of the deep silence that you experience at that moment. There is no guarantee that when you burn incense before a Buddha, it is going to happen. There is no guarantee, but there is certainly a possibility. That is all. Just slightly more possibility exists. When you are in a church or a temple or in a mosque, slightly more possibilities exist, because church, the mosque, the temples are ordinary places like shops. Continuously business is happening there. The restaurant, the cinema hall, or the house where there are so many associations. When you move in a temple, you move out of your ordinary, mundane relationships, associations, and there is more of a possibility of seeing the cross and the crucified Jesus. Cross, the crucified Jesus or a Buddha statue sitting silently, of feeling the silence of the temple or the church or the mosque, the purity, the cleanliness, the incense that is burning there. They all help us to create the occasion, to create the moment. Create the moment. Do not miss that moment when you are in the church. The fragrance of the incense reaches your nostrils. Or something else like that happens. They all help just as occasions. That is how these places were created in the first place. However, these have failed to serve the purpose, because we continue to go there to carry on our business. In the same way, initiation or sannyas, as the term was coined by Buddha and Osho, or a master is an occasion. There is no guarantee that by becoming an initiate you will attain, but it is slightly more possible. It is not necessary that when you enter the precincts of a temple or a church or a mosque it will happen, but there is more possibility because it has been created differently. I have seen when you go to the temple, I had to keep my eyes closed so that somebody comes and sits next to you. The first thing he says, "Good morning," and quietly. And he says, "How is everything? How is family? How is business?" You are in the temple. What is more important? You are in the place of your worship. What is more important? You are in communion with the cross that is there, and you are looking at the Jesus, or the Jesus on the cross, or the statue in the temple, or the Buddha sitting in a lotus posture. You want to commune with that or with the person. So sometimes I will keep my eyes closed, most of the time, so that the person who comes next to me and sits down, when he sees my eyes closed, he doesn't have anything to disturb to me. And afterwards, I wanted to wish you, but your eyes, you were in meditation. No, that's how it is, because I have not come here to make a relation with you. If that is the case, I know how to call you. That is a different matter. You do not take my calls, but I will call you. But in the temple, I have come for a different purpose. I am here to be in commune with Jesus so that something can happen with me at that moment. Just looking into the eyes of the Jesus on the cross, or the candle that is being lit, or the incense, the fragrance of the incense that reaches your nostrils, certain possibilities can happen. It is an occasion. Just feeling the master, just being within his energy field, listening to him overflow, are the things that lean a little more towards the happening, towards something to happen. And that is all. And that is much, not small. That will make all that is difference. You have come to an awakened one. Be within his energy field, just feeling, just as you are feeling the fragrance, feeling the presence of the flower that has blossomed. Without uttering a single word, you are in a deep embrace with the flower. But how can I embrace a flower? The flower does not stretch its arms to go around me. I cannot kiss the flower. I cannot do this. I cannot do. But you can embrace the flower. You can embrace its beauty. It's as its fragrance reaches your nostrils. Fragrance that is emanating out of the flower, it reaches your nostrils. It is an embrace. You can be in that embrace, in that. And then you are creating the occasion, creating the moment for something to happen to you. The birds are chirping, the sound that is reaching you, touching somewhere deep within you. A deep embrace is happening. The sun is rising, its rays are reaching from the far horizon to your closest, to your being. It touches you, something magnificent happens to you. In the form of the beauty, in the form of warmth. What happens when you give an embrace to someone? There is a warmth. The warmth of the sun is touching you, it is giving you an embrace. It is creating a moment. Drown in that moment, something will happen. And you can be in that moment of now and here. The moment you are in now and here, something will begin to happen deep within you. The inner flower will start blossoming. The ecstasy will happen, the joy, the blissfulness. And you will realize now and here is the only time, and here is the only space to be. Not in the past, riding the horses of memory, not in the future, riding the horses of imagination. It is through imagination you move into the future. It is through the memory you move into the past. Let go those horses of memory and imagination. You are plunged into the ocean of bliss. And bliss happens only this very precise moment and nowhere else. If you want to attain to blissfulness, if you want to attain to that state of oneness with Jesus, with Buddha, or with anyone that you want, be in this moment, be now, be here. Bliss will happen. Only this much for this morning. Until tomorrow, take care and do have a pleasant day. This live streaming is available on YouTube channel taoshobuddha. You can Google taoshobuddha and you will find the channel. The live streaming via Facebook will be available in a few moments on Facebook page and different groups. If you like, you can save it into your fold and listen to it if you wish to. Only this much for this morning. Until tomorrow, take care and do have a pleasant day.